Hey y'all, good morning. Sherry G here. Thanks for stopping by the channel. I hope you hit the like button on your way in, subscribe if you haven't, and hit the notification bell because I will be back. So look, every Sunday, Carlos King likes to use his platform, his YouTube channel, for what I call his pulpit. And he did that on this past Sunday. He received some praise, but he's received tons of backlash for the sermon. The sermon itself was good, but I do understand the backlash. Now, I know there are a lot of content creators that have already given remarks about it, giving their feelings about this particular Sunday's message and everything. But it's been playing on my heart actually. Like I've been thinking about that message a lot, and thinking about a lot of things as it pertains to Love and Marriage Huntsville and the different castmates, all of the things that we've been seeing lately, and just trying to make some sense of it. But I've also been thinking about the executive producer, Carlos King, and just wondering, about him and who he is, because I feel like a lot of what we see on the show is a reflection of who he is as a person. And I say that because he is the one that is in charge, and I say that because some of the things that we've seen have been so volatile. We've been speaking about that for a while now. But for you to allow that, when this is something you can control, it's something that you can control as the executive producer. And he said that every scene has to be approved by him, all of the edits and everything. So some of the, vile behavior that we've seen, he's allowed that to be shown. And then we've heard, allegedly, that there are some good things, good scenes that we didn't get to see. So I'm going to let you listen to his little sermon or his little inspirational speech that he gave on this past Sunday. And then I'll go ahead and give my commentary on it. Before I even get into anything, keep in mind that the views that I express are alleged. It is my opinion, and it is for entertainment purposes only. So take a listen.
There's going to be people who are assigned to destroy you. It doesn't take one person to fight the blessings that's coming your way. You know you're on the verge of something when that one person gets an army of people to come against you. When that happens, that should be a sign for you that you are on the right path. You are so freaking phenomenal. They need an army of people to attack you. But don't succumb to that. Don't obsess over the people who are trying to break you. Instead, obsess over your own breakthrough. Break through the noise, break through your enemies, and break into the blessings that God has purposefully assigned on your life. There's going to be people.
Okay, so that was his message on Sunday. The thing about this message that really stood out to a lot of people, because some people go and they look at the comments like I do, and the thing that really stood out to a lot of people was that he actually tagged Martell in this particular inspirational speech. And in this speech, when he tagged Martell, I believe that is what, well, I know, and I'm alleging, that is what caused all of the backlash that he received after he posted this. So anyway, in and of itself, the message is good. But to me, the fact that he tagged Martell actually even speaks more of the messenger himself. I feel like the messenger is a snake, and that is my opinion, and that is my strong opinion. I feel that Carlos King is someone who cannot be trusted, and I feel that he has proven that multiple times, but especially this time. I feel like it really stands out this time. Is there anything wrong with him inspiring Martell to rise above? No, it isn't. But it's just the whole idea that, at least for me, I have never seen him encourage Melody in any type of way. And the reason why, and I hate to keep saying, well, he should, do that for Melody too, is because of all of the castmates, she is the one who has been tormented the most by the other castmates. Like, they all rose up against her and attacked her. And I didn't see him giving her a message like this when she went through all of those attacks, when she went through being dragged through the mud by all of them, or at least they tried to drag her through the mud. And this thing about when one person, I don't know who the one person he's referring to that needs an army, because there's none of us that need an army when other people rise up against us. We don't need an army of people to defend us. All we need is God, and all we need is faith. And I don't think Melody called out an army to rise up against Martell. I don't think anyone called out an army to rise up against Martell. The army rose because the army, the millimeters, was sick and tired of the type of behavior we were witnessing from Martell. So the people rising up against Martell is not because of someone called us to stand and rise. Now, there were petitions put out. Someone put the petition out, and they asked us to, please, sign the petition if you believe this and this and that. But we are all independent women, and I say that because majority of the viewers are women. So we are all independent women, and for the few men who can make our own decisions and who have made our own decisions. Many of us have signed petitions, and the many petitions that were out, and then there are many who didn't. There are many who blacked out the show last year, and there are many who still remain on blackout. They were not called by Melody to do that either. That was each individual person's choice. Now, someone may have said, hey, this is what we're going to do. If you're for it, join it. But again, each person had their own, stood on their own whims to make that decision. We all have our own will. We all have the power to make the decisions and choices that we want to make for our lives. And if we feel strongly about something, then of course, we're probably going to side on the side of that thing or on the side of that person. I feel that Carlos doesn't understand the demographic of the viewers that watched this show, because if he understood the demographic of the viewers that watch his show, he would understand why so many have risen against Martell. And it's not necessarily that we are against Martell. I say that again, because I believe that everyone understands that he is a father of at least 5 children. He's a father of at least 5 children, and allegedly it could be more. We want him to be in his best light. We want to see him rise up in his best light. But on his way to the rise, he's tried to take down the woman who bore majority of his children, right? Who used to be his wife, who he lived in the home with for X amount of years. So we're not down for that. We're not down for that behavior. And then what happened here most recently with the alleged P-tape, we've heard nothing from Martell about that. And I think that if he would at least come out and say, look, this is something that I did. That was the person that I was then. That was last year. I'm no longer that person, and I apologize. I think he would get more respect from us. But he said absolutely nothing. And it's kind of crazy because, when the alleged DV situation happened, he was quick to come and defend himself in that regard. And I guess this time it's like, well, it is true because Melody said it's true. And if he was past that and beyond that and growing beyond that, if his mind wasn't the same, if he wasn't operating out of the same mindset, then why wouldn't he make an apology and say that was something I was going to do? I am guilty of that, because we all believe it anyway. So I'm just saying that, the actions that Martell performs, the things that he does, this is the reason why people have risen up against him. And Melody did not call us to do that. And in fact, for those of us who are still on blackout, Melody actually even asked us to watch the show. She's been asking, please watch the show and doing things to encourage people to watch the show. But again, we all have our own free will. And then this whole thing about, don't focus on, I'm just paraphrasing, the people, don't obsess on the people who have been called to break you. What about all of the people that he has broken on his way to his recovery? What about Melody and the way he's broken her? What about his children and the way he broke up his family? And I'm sure some of the psychological and emotional effects that they received or suffered because of the way that his father was. What about the way he took, and I'm even going to say this, Ariane, and manipulated and controlled her and broke her to the point that she can't even think for herself, like to the point that if she does anything that is against his will, then she becomes afraid. That fearful lady that we saw on the video on live, trying to explain away some things and make things seem not as bad as they were, or trying to point her finger more towards Carson by saying, hey, we've been friends for all of this time. And you could actually literally see the fear in her eyes. And we know that Martell was controlling her on the other side of the phone. So anyway, I feel that the message is good, but you still have to understand that the message still is coming from a person who is broken, because there is no way that Carlos King, in my opinion, and allegedly, could allow these types of things to happen season after season after season after season, episode after episode after episode. And not only is he allowing these things to happen, but he's putting it in our face when he has the power to manipulate the situations so that we don't see all of that. Like, why didn't we see beautiful moments of at the birthday party with Miss Van and her granddaughter? Why didn't we see that? We only saw Martell getting in Miss Van's face, which was horribly disrespectful. And that scene itself caused more anger within the viewers who are risen up against Martell. And then the alleged P-tape caused even more viewers to rise up. And people who were even vying for Martell has now turned against Martell, so to speak. Now, like I said, majority of us don't really want to see this man fall flat on his face. I mean, I'm glad he bought land, and allegedly there's some construction going on that land. I'm glad for him. I'm glad, he has his suit line. I hope it's successful, but in the meantime, he is still a sick individual. He is mentally ill, in my opinion, and he needs help. And no matter how much rise he gets financially or materialistically, it still doesn't help the person who he is on the inside. And Carlos King, I just wonder, what did your mom go through? What was your family life like that you think that this is acceptable? That you actually even enjoy this type of volatile behavior because you enjoy it. And this is the reason why I cannot support another Carlos King production. I can't watch Bell Collective. I'm sorry. I can't, especially after I heard about the club scene. I can't. But you guys, that's all I have for you. I was just really thinking about this little speech that he did, and it really, really got under my skin. It was really pressing on my heart, like I said. So I just wanted to give my thoughts about it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because I will be back. Until then, ciao.